Man, good win, always a battle. I'm even sweating after that one. So our players really played their hearts out in that game. This game's never going to be the prettiest game. I mean, it's just two heavyweight fighters going at it, and I was really proud of how we won that game. You got to be able to win different ways. Sometimes it's going to be spacing and a lot of spread deal with very little contact and crazy up and down. And some days it's just going to be bone on bone the whole game. That's kind of what that game was. But we needed to prove we could win a game like that. I mean, we really did. So if you're going to win the league, you got to win different ways. There's teams that play that way, then there's teams that play high and wide and finesse. So you got to be able to do them both. But really pleased with our upperclassmen particularly, and that's not to negate the great play of our younger guys, but they really answered the bell. And we kind of subbed everyone out after the first couple of minutes because we didn't come out there as aggressive for that first minute. But then after that, I thought the rest of the game we played really physical and really hard and played the way you're going to have to play to compete in a game like that versus a really good team that's one of the better defensive teams in the country, top 20 defense team in the country. So, buckets won't come easy. It's going to be slimy and grimy. And I'll be real with you, I kind of like those games a lot when it gets like that. You get to really see what you're made of because it's not necessarily about basketball. It's just how physical, how hard can you play, can you win those games, and I'm glad to do it.
Coach Riley having one of his best games of the season, in particular, you look at that sequence towards the end of the half where he scores 7 points late. How crucial is he now coming off for the bench for you guys, and what kind of a spark did he provide for this team?
Yeah, all those bigs, Riley, Jaden, and Larry, all kind of do something different. And, I mean, Jaden got a little foul trouble, and the way they kind of played him, it wasn't necessarily going to be his night necessarily. They have to hug him so hard that our other guys were able to get to the basket a lot. But Riley really came in there, and he was a force down low. When they started switching and we were able to get him the ball, he was able to go to work. So he's been working hard regardless. His minutes sometimes may play 5, sometimes may play 20, but you got to stay ready, and that's why you stay ready.
Sticking with the bench, Lucas played some big minutes in that first half. What have you seen a growth from him, especially on the defensive end? He was really assertive when he got on the offensive end.
I mean, Lucas is a fighter. So, I told him yesterday this would be the kind of game he'd totally understand. Like, this would be a street fight, and he's a fighter. So we needed guys in the game that would crash a glass every time, play their hearts out the whole game, and ready for the physicality of the game. And he can do that. He can play multiple positions. Trey got in foul trouble the first half. So he had to play a lot there. Then Colin was a foul trouble, had to play at the 4. Then we slid him over to the 2 to end the game. So multi-dimensional player who's obviously a good shooter, but what he does may or may not show up on the stat sheet every night. But he's a very valuable piece to our team. And just to be a sophomore, he's going to keep growing and excelling.
When you look at the stats, there's a lot of similarities between y'all and UNCG. Does that really prove how tough the SoCon is and a good example of possibly what a championship game in the tournament could look like?
Well, they certainly can win a championship. They have the right components, good guard, play tough, play defense, they rebound the ball. The SoCon just an awesome league. I don't know how to say it any other way. It's a great league because there's so many unique styles. They beat Furman pretty bad the other day. They won at Wofford, and then they won at Chattanooga. So, you don't do that if you don't have something about you. So, anyway, it's you look at this and you look at the stats, and I've always said it. It's usually a 1, 2, 3 possession game when it gets down to these top teams in the league playing each other, and when you go on the road, it's going to be a 1 or 2 possession game. Doesn't matter who you play in the league. So we got to win those if you're going to win the SoCon.
You guys were facing a lot of zone defenses, and this is one of the first times maybe it was more man. How did you guys feel like you executed offensively on that?
Yeah, it's never going to be Chris versus those guys. It's just not going to be. They're not going to let you get a shot off in the first 5, 6 seconds. That's just not who they are. They're really lockdown defenders. They have a good scheme. But at the end of the day, we shot 48% from the field, 38% from 3, and 74% from the free throw line. So, we're not here to win an Oscar. We're here to win basketball games. That's what we say. It's not always going to be pretty. And the teams that want to be pretty, they're not going to beat Greensboro. They can't do it. If you're pretty, you're not going to beat Greensboro because you have to be willing to get the grime on. And if you got to just slime some buckets out there in the last 10 seconds, 5 seconds, it's what's going to happen. And, it's not going to be the prettiest offense. You may have a matchup, and you're just going to have somebody just with their hand up calling for the ball on the block, and it's bone on bone, grinding on each other. And, that's why the teams when the game's over are so exhausted. But a lot of teams can't win those games and then win when it's got to be pretty. We've shown that we can do both. And you're going to get to talk to Trey and RJ. I thought, 2 senior guards right there. I thought they were really, really good in the game and came out. Trey came out, set the tone right from the jump. So he's a money player, ready for those big games, and thought he played really well. Let the game come to him, and played well and stuck with it. Got in foul trouble, and easy to check yourself out of the game when you're in foul trouble, but he stuck with it.
Coach, what's next for this team? What would you like to see the guys improve on before you guys head into the next game?
I just can't get complacent in any way. Like with the version of ourselves right now can't win the league, can't win the tournament. Like no one's version of themselves right now can't win the league or the tournament. It's just who can keep getting better and improving. We've got a lot better as the season's gone, but we got to go to the next step, right? And we're gonna get tested here. You know, we play 3 or 4 at home. We're gonna get tested on the road, and we're gonna see adversity. Like we're gonna be down in games. We may or may not win every game, but teams that can overcome that and sustain and not get too high or low. I'm mad that I had a bad game. I'm mad that I didn't play as much. I'm mad that the ref called a foul. Whatever. Like, I'm mad we lost. Like, the guys that have enough character, which I think our team has, can sustain and bounce back and be ready for the next game and get over themselves and their emotions and play for the program and the team. And when you do that, you're going to keep getting better, and you got a chance to be really successful.
Saw the crowd tonight from the community. With students finally coming back, what's your message to the students?
Yeah, we had a great crowd. We really appreciate Birmingham getting here. Our students have not been able to get here, so we had some back today. Really need everybody to pour in, not just for the sake of the university and to the team, but just for their sake. You don't get these times back. This is college. Very few things you can rally around all together. And so I look forward to seeing everybody at the games. We don't have many left at home. And when everybody's back, we have, let's see, 6 more home games. So, you know, you got a team that plays an exciting style, has been very successful in their home court, has won championships, and a bunch of great guys that, just like the students here at Samford, great people that you want to go to war with. So we look forward to those students getting back, fighting with us, and having another great run at home in the SoCon.